Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Amar bin Salim. I'm from the LUMS Office of Advancement. Welcome to another podcast from LUMS today. Today we'll be talking about the MS and PhD programs offered in the domain of biology. And we have been joined by Dr. Muhammad Tariq and Ms. Amina Sarwar from the Department of Life Sciences at the Sayyid Babar Ali School of Science and Engineering at LUMS. Dr. Muhammad Tariq is a faculty member at the department, and Ms. Amina Sarwar is currently pursuing her MS in biology at the Department of Life Sciences at LUMS. Thank you very much for joining us today. Dr. Tariq, I'll start with you. What does the term life sciences mean?
So life sciences means, study of science of life, what life is all about at molecular level. So we deal with fundamental basis of life in terms of molecules, which are DNA, proteins, how they act at the cellular level, how they orchestrate to create a healthy cell, and what goes wrong in a healthy cell at the DNA or protein level, at the molecular level, that life becomes sick or diseased. So this is particular area which is focus of life sciences at LUMS. Then life sciences is a huge term, all the industrial products which deals with the food, agriculture, for example, insulin production, drugs, RNA vaccine of COVID, all this comes under life sciences.
Life is basically a study of life and whatever it holds, of course. So right now we're offering two programs at the graduate level, if I'm not wrong, MS in biology and PhD in biology.
Yeah.
And how have we structured these two programs?
So the master's program is, both the programs are modeled after the North American model. So in the master's, you have advanced level courses, and you have 6 courses at least, 6 to 8 courses, 24 credit hours.
Of courses.
Followed
by 12 of research?
No, followed by 6 credit hours
6 of research.
Year-long thesis research.
Right.
That's the master's program.
So in the first year, you'll do university courses.
Yeah.
And then the next year, you'll be focused on your research.
No, it's total freedom for the student.
Okay.
So they can spread their 24 credit hours across 2 years as well.
Right.
Minimum they should enroll in 2 courses equivalent to 6 credits in each semester. Okay. And then they can also do masters in biology without thesis, which we call coursework only. If somebody is not interested in pursuing a research career, they can, instead of 6 credit hours of thesis, they can take 2 additional courses.
And there would still be a master's degree that
it will be a master's degree.
Right.
And total 30 credit hours you have to take.
30 in total at the master's level. What about the PhD level?
So our PhD is really, I'm very proud of our PhD program. So why? Because on the one hand, it's fully funded. So the tuition fee is waived off. So a PhD student does not pay anything to LUMS in terms of tuition fee,
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. In turn, PhD student is also paid an honorarium for 4 years of the precious time they spend in our labs working in a fundamental problem in cell and molecular biology or computational biology. And the whole idea is that these PhDs, they don't have to worry about their living expenses. We expect that they will spend whole time working in lab or reading, developing scholarship, generating new knowledge. Usually a PhD takes, in our domain, 5 to 6 years. So first 1.5 year goes taking courses. So they have to take minimum 18 credits, which is followed by an exam, which we call the comprehensive exam or qualify. And that exam has a, very different flavor as compared to the exams they are exposed to in masters and BS. And you should pass that comprehensive, which comprises of written exam and a oral exam. And if you fail, you get 6 more months, another attempt. If you fail again, you are out of the PhD program. Alongside, they join a professor and they start working on their PhD thesis research. And they are required to publish their work in peer-reviewed journal, a well-reputed, respected international journal, as first author. At least they should have one first author publication.
As first author.
Yeah, it's very rigorous. We started this in 2013, and good news is that our PhDs who graduated in last 3 years, we had like nearly 9 PhDs who graduated, 10 in last 3 years, and all of them are accepted as postdoc fellows in US. Only the ones who opted that they don't want to go abroad, I think there are 2 only, they are here, and they are also very happy with the career path they are following.
So we'll explore more the avenues of employment for the graduates of the MS and the PhD in biology programs, and we'll talk about the selection criteria as well. But first, now we'll come to you, Amina. What was your motivation to join the MS program in biology?
So the most interesting thing about the MS biology program at LUMS, and I would say generally the Department of Life Sciences, is that you're not restricted to one specific aspect of life sciences.
Achha. So it's interdisciplinary.
Yes, it's very interdisciplinary. So you're not just studying आपके पास सिर्फ microbiology की degree नहीं है. You're not just a genetic student. You're not just a biochemist. Okay, but you're a culmination of all these different subjects. So as Dr. Tariq has already mentioned, in the first year, you're expected to take core courses. जिसमें you're studying genetics, you're studying biochemistry, you're studying cell signaling, and then there's additional course which is a lab course. And us lab course maybe, then again, it's the interdisciplinary approach that you get an insight into all the research groups that are currently working in the Department of Life Sciences. So it's a good insight into how your degree does not restrict you into one specific aspect.
So does it ever happen that, because I know for a fact that at the bachelor's level it does happen, and you are also BS from LUMS, लेकिन क्या ऐसा होता है मास्टर्स में भी that you see कि इस particular जो मैं चीज़ study कर रही हूँ कोर्स की relevance एक और कोर्स से भी बढ़ रही है which is being offered at a different school. So does that happen, or are you allowed to go for courses at other schools?
Yes. So
Really?
yes, I really enjoyed my bachelor's time particularly because I had the liberty to go for outgroups. ठीक है, उसमें I remember I took a course on World War II. So what's very interesting about that particular course was that we studied into the onset of World War II and the events, and then eventually what preceded the entire scenario. And then at the end of the course, we had to write an essay. I was the only science student in the entire class of 75 students. History ki class hai, there are students from all over LUMS, and then there's just one SSC student in that class. But the very essay that we had to write, it was so interesting because I took an approach which was looking into how science played its part in the entire onset of the Holocaust. So it just wasn't one person deciding, oh, we're going to do this and that. But there was an entire scientific backing. We don't know how factual it was or it was not. So my entire essay was based around the role that the scientists played at that time in the propagation of the events that took place. And I remember going to Dr. Tariq as well and asking his insight, Kicha, do you think as a scientist, where is the ethical ground? Where does it come into play? Where is the propaganda bit come into play? So it's very interesting how you can put science and history together. And I'm pretty sure you can do that for other fields as well.
बिल्कुल जैसा आपने बताया कि मतलब for something जिस तरह हॉलोकॉस्ट का आपने जिक्र किया कि उसकी रेलेवेंस इन साइंस, ऑफ कोर्स हम उसको बिल्कुल डिफरेंट एंगल से देखते हैं, बट इवन आई वुड हैव नेवर थॉट कि उसको साइंस के एंगल से भी देखा जा सकता है. एंड आई थिंक लम्स whole infrastructure, LUMS, student body, of course, and in addition to the faculty that we have, and the whole environment that we have allows you to dig deep and look for ways that were previously unexplored. All right, thank you, Amina. Dr. Tariq, हम जब अपने PhD या MS के लिए applications की request करते हैं candidates को, so we ask them to explore our website, to go and explore the faculty profiles as well, and see what research areas are they exploring in their domains. What are some of those research areas for which we would like PhD applications for in biology?
Good question. So we have two major areas. Two major areas are cell and molecular biology and computational biology and bioinformatics. Cell and molecular biology deals with all the wet biology or experimental biology. Within cell and molecular biology, we have research in the field of cancer cell signaling and drug discovery for cancer. We have research in the field of microbiology, infectious diseases, where we are working on hepatitis C, dengue, pneumococci, then pneumonia in diabetes, so communicable and non-communicable diseases research is going on. We work on plants, agriculture. So the fundamental basis of, let's say, stress, drought, and heat tolerance in plants, how plant system evolves or works to tolerate extreme heat or water deficiency, how crop productivity can be enhanced. So it's like plant biotechnology also is an area where we are working. We are also working in animal and plant development, molecular genetics. For example, what are the molecular biology or molecular basis of eye development, why and how eyes develop, and why eyes don't develop into heart or liver.
So right. So the very basics of things.
Genetic and the protein networks we work on. In the computational biology, we also work on DNA damage, how genome integrity is maintained, because daily, let's say somebody smokes or any genotoxic stress which damages our DNA. So how DNA repairs itself, or what are the measures to protect that DNA damage? So epigenetics is a major research area in our department. We have, I think, 3 faculty members, 1 in plants and 2 are in other systems, fruit fly and mammalian system. In computational biology, you have a very exciting research going on. So computational biology is basically dealing with big data which comes from biological research. And you look for patterns and signatures in that big data. And also our faculty, Dr. Safiullah Chaudhry in particular, he has developed algorithms to understand what are the basis of onset of cancer, for example, what may go wrong in a cell. And he does all this theoretically in silico, in computers. So he has published, some of the best algorithms, which are considered best in the world as well. Very fast programs dealing with proteomics, dealing with cancer biology. So these two are not separate. Computational biology and cell and molecular biology, they interact with each other. It's a very interdisciplinary program.
So what I feel is, काफी सारे areas में research जो है वो हो रही है, and it's not just that. You talked about dengue, research in dengue, about dengue virus. You talked about research with regards to cancer. Right before the webcast, we were talking about COVID-19 related research as well. So it's not just कि जो जिन पर research पहले हमेशा से होते आ रही है. It's also about the current problems that we are facing, and we're looking for active solutions to those. Amina, what are you researching about?
So basically, I'm trying to develop an essay. And through that essay, we'll see.
Essay?
Yes.
मैं आपको develop कर देता हूँ
essay. नहीं, वो वाला
I'm
essay
sure
नहीं
it
है.
will be that great.
नहीं, ये वो वाला essay
ये वो
नहीं है,
वाला
ये
है
थोड़ा
ही
सा
नहीं.
science
Alright.
वाला essay है, ठीक है? So basically, we're developing an essay and we're trying to see how the genes are being regulated. Okay, so what's very interesting about genes, and maybe Dr. Tariq can add to it, genes are just like switches. They can be turned on or they can be turned off. Just now Dr. Tariq was talking about, why doesn't eye, for example, develop into heart or heart develop into eye? Okay, so these are very specific switches that are working in a very specific patterns that are regulating कि eye ने eye बनना है, heart ने heart बनना है. Okay, so there's a network of proteins that is working at this level that's regulating the gene expression, and we have a set of proteins वही वाले जिन networks में involved हैं, and we're trying to see कि ये activation में काम कर रहा है या फिर ये उसकी repression में काम कर रहा है. Gene on कर रहा है His
Union of Care, like a switch
yes.
you mentioned.
Yes, exactly.
How do you think कि LUMS का एक अच्छा researcher बनाने में आपको क्या role है LUMS का overall? Or yeah, let's be more specific. What is the role of the School of Science and Engineering in you becoming a researcher that is fully equipped, well equipped to go to any university or any company in the world and then pitch your ideas and work with some of the best researchers in the world?
So then again, I would say that there's a lot of fluidity. Okay, it's one building and there's so many different departments within that one building. Okay, so firstly, there are multiple layers to it. अब मैं layers को आहिस्ता आहिस्ता break down करती हूँ. The first layer is कि in the first year, I'm studying courses. In the second year, again, I've told you there's different kind of courses that we're studying. Take all kinds of biology, simply put. Take in the second year, I'm conducting my research. Take and then the courses and the research sort of supplement one another. Take clear? तो आपके वो research आपको courses में help करे, आपके courses आपके research में help करे. But on top of that, there are also seminar series that are very active in the entire
Course.
in the entire SSA program. Take it. So we have our own series, where we have different panelists come in and then they talk about different research areas. And similarly, apart from life sciences or other, mathematics department has one, chemistry department has different symposiums वगैरह भी. So you get to interact or you get to see what the other departments are doing as well. And then sort of you can see कि how can you apply their ideas in your research?
So is it interdisciplinary? Is it intra-school, I'd say?
Yeah.
Right? That your different departments housed within the School of Science and Engineering
Yes.
can come together and talk to you about it.
Yes.
Do you also, and maybe Dr. Tariq could also add on that, give the opportunities to students to interact with industry professionals while they're still pursuing their MS or PhD program?
Yeah, I wish we have more and more opportunities in the industry. Unfortunately, the life sciences industry, and that's not very active when it comes to R&D, research and development. Our life sciences industry is more consumer-based. We import and we sell. But in last few years, I have seen now foreign companies coming to Pakistan and they have their offices and they are building their presence. They are showing their presence. And of our graduates, they have joined these companies after their masters or even BS. So I wish we can have more. We don't have very frequent, but we don't have total absence as well. We do have there are two major US-based companies. Their CEOs, they are in touch with our faculty and they are talking to students as well. We haven't planned that in the next visit we will organize a seminar in which more exposure is given to the students to see what kind of R&D is going on in the industry, and also an opportunity for the executives of the industry to see what kind of expert students we are creating in this department. So that's the future, not distant future. I see it a very near future, and this happening. Already little activity is going on. We have some industrial projects going on, some industrial consultancies in which again students are performing those.
I also wanted to talk to you about when we talk about the employment opportunities, we generally work with this idea. For example, overall, when we go to the market as well, when we speak with the students, with aspirants, they say, okay, biology hai, basic sciences, we're eventually going to end up working for a research company or research organization, or maybe we'll be teaching. So how correct is that? Is that a myth? Or do we have, and as now that you have mentioned about companies who will, inshallah, be looking for more of LUMS talent coming from the Department of Life Sciences, लेकिन किस किस सेक्टर में क्या क्या रोल्स होते हैं जिनमें बायोलॉजी के स्टूडेंट्स जो हैं वो काम कर सकते हैं?
So biology students, I would say they are quite versatile. I mean, they can do pure administrative job as well. I have seen quite a few working as academic coordinators in top tier schools in Pakistan. So they are not just trained to be a researcher. So the whole 2 years master's or undergrad or PhD program, For example, one of the PhD who graduated in 2020, working in my lab, Heather, he's now working in a US-based company who started their office last year. And Heather is very happy. I met him a few weeks ago because I was always worried about him. I also had the same impression like you are saying. People were saying you can only be a researcher. And Heather wanted to go to policy. And he wanted to go, he does not want to follow a pure research-based career. And the COVID has changed the whole dynamics of the world. So all these companies which were having their offices in India or US or China, they see they can do things remotely. And they have invested very heavily in Pakistan. So I see career opportunities for our life sciences graduates more and more in these companies. Let me give you another data point. I think more than 10 students from our department, they were working in another company, which is also US based, having their offices here. So that was dominated by life sciences graduates of LUMS. Okay? All they had to do, they had their clients abroad, they had to do some data search, and no experiments, no kind of research which they do in the department. So I think they're very robust students.
I think it also speaks about about how updated we are in terms of what we're teaching, what we're trying to instill in terms of not just knowledge but skills, but attitudes as well. Because you mentioned that more of our students, PhD students, let's say, are working for companies in the US, remote or in person, what have you. But still, उनकी relevance तो है, मुझे पता चलता है कि उनकी acceptability in the market is there. Right. Amna, coming back to you. LUMS में, talking about the university, कितना opportunity मिलती है to enjoy the student life? MS में तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा पढ़ाई होती है. ये सिर्फ पढ़ते रहते हैं आप लोग या सिर्फ लैब में होते हैं?
I feel like this is a wrong impression that's been given out कि हम सिर्फ पढ़ते रहते हैं.
ठीक है. आपके प्रोफेसर यहाँ बैठे होंगे, कहने से पढ़ते नहीं हैं आप, इसका मतलब all the time.
नहीं. So you have so many opportunities to enjoy as well. ठीक है, पढ़ाई है, you have to make sure कि आप इस तरह balance कर सकते हो. Even the structure of the entire program is such that you can take out time for yourself. And there are so many opportunities, particularly on campus. Okay, we have the best sports facilities, you have the sports complex, we have the aquatic center. On top of that, there's so many societies that are currently operating
there's
at
so many
LUMS.
eateries as well.
Yes, there's so many eateries.
I don't go to the gym a lot, so मेरे लिए eateries वो ज़्यादा होते हैं.
वो भी है, so मतलब there's a lot to do. Take it on top of that, जब भी आप सुबह अपना email खोलें, तो there are 10 different seminars or sessions happening. SDSP में there's another different session. So there's a lot to look forward to in a day that is being spent at LUMS. Take it, so I feel like
what do you enjoy the most?
I don't enjoy the eating bit as much, but definitely I enjoy the sports bit.
Okay.
I am a swimmer, so I enjoy going to the pool
right.
once in a while, and then
you go
just
to the aquatic center a lot.
Yes, and then just leave my stress there.
So you don't enjoy eating a lot, so maybe we need to open up more eateries at LUMS.
Better eatery options.
Better eatery options. Okay, feedback taken. All right. So let's talk about the admission at LUMS, and we know that if you're applying to the MS program, you need to have 16 years of prior education from an HEC recognized institute, and then you will have to sit for 2 admission tests as well. One of those would be the LGAT exam, the other would be the subject-specific exam, and then of course your personal statement and letter of recommendations, and a presentation as well if you're evaluating for the PhD program. I'll start with you. How difficult was the whole process, or how easy was it for you to apply to the MS program? And how did you prepare for the LGAT exam and the subject-specific exam?
So the first important thing that you have to make sure is know your deadlines. Make sure that you're well aware of when's the final deadline to submit the documents. Then the list of documents that you've already mentioned. Once that's sorted, you will get a date for the test. When we come to the test, there are 2 tests, as you've already mentioned, the LGAT and the subject test. For the LGAT, it's just basic English and mathematics. Any GRE preparatory material would do for that. As for the subject test, it's very convenient. What they've done is that you get a list of topics that are already mentioned on the website. So just make sure, and these topics are very basic biology concepts that you need to know, but you need to know what I mean by you need to know them. Just make sure your concepts are clear in those topics, and you're good to go. I mean, it's not that difficult.
Not that difficult at all.
But make sure that
you can say that you have made it. So you can say that.
Not that difficult, but they will test you on the basic concepts.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Tariq, what do we look for in a candidate? MS candidate, PhD. Both.
So at master's level, as Amna has just said, we look at a student who has conceptual understanding of fundamentals of different disciplines within life sciences. For example, we test for very basic concepts which they have already learned during their BS, for microbiology, for genetics, for cell biology, and for molecular biology, and biochemistry. This written exam is taken from these discipline fundamental questions. Master students are also interviewed, and again we try to see why they are choosing this area, what are their future plans. They may be gold medalist in their previous education, how good understanding they have developed over all these 4 years of their BS before they jump into our master's program, because our master's program is not just theory, it's a lot more emphasis on the building again basics, concepts, but then link those concepts with advanced level discovery, research papers, reading. So we want to see if they will be compatible. For PhD student, we want to look at again all these features which we normally look for master student, but we want to see their basic understanding of the kind of research they have already done during their master's program, because they already have done a master's. And we want to see, do they really know what they did during their master's? Do they have a clear understanding of the question, and whether that question was of basic research kind of fundamental or applied? Whatever, regardless of the nature of the problem, do they know what they worked on, and can they explain it to us who are not expert in that particular area? Then how independent they will be. Okay. Will they require spoon feeding? So if their basics are not good, they will require hand holding for the rest of the 6 years of PhD.
Do you think anybody who did not have very strong fundamentals during their bachelor's or their research, or their master's, or research that was involved in their master's program, do you think they should apply for the PhD program? Or can we help them?
Yeah. So one of the salient features we look when we interview PhDs are their ability to learn.
Adaptability.
Are they really passionate? Do they know why they would want to do PhD? So if they are very clear they want to go for PhD, will they be able to handle criticism, stress, and then what is the learning curve? Will they be sharp learners or layback attitude? So somebody who do not have good basics, but a good learner would demonstrate during those 2 days of interviews and tests and etc. that he has a ability to learn, interact, and listen. In my past 10 years, I had PhDs who had weak basics, but they did wonderfully well during their time here.
Because of their attitude.
Because of the attitude, because they realize if they want to get into generating new knowledge, they have to learn. So I know one of them was in library for 6 months here, LUMS library. I used to tell him, look, this is what I want you to do. And PhD is not, they are also common humans like us. But it's the attitude which defines.
So we're also evaluating for the attitude.
Oh, yeah.
For their ability to communicate, to learn new things, of course.
We don't look at their past academic performance or academic preparation. But a lot of traits we are looking for in a PhD is actually which do not come from books.
And before we close today's session, just last question, looking for a very quick answer. How do you see the future of life sciences evolving, at least in Pakistan?
I'm very optimistic, I tell you, because I came back in 2009 and there was no life sciences industry. In last 5 years, I have seen foreign companies coming to Pakistan. And as I speak, I know there are few startups coming up in life science, life technologies, tech-based. It's not just, either se cheese pakri, either bechti. No. Development, R&D kind of things. People like. So future is very bright because this century, remember my words, this century belongs to life sciences. And Pakistan has HR, and I think LUMS, the School of Science and Engineering, it has contributed to creation of well-equipped, well-trained HR in the field of life sciences. And I see future very bright because once the industry realizes this country has the HR we need, it's much cheaper for them to work here, invest here, reap profits instead of, affording high cost in the West.
You're in luck. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Tariq, for coming for this podcast. Thanks to you, Amna. And I love the discussion. I hope our audience will also, people who are considering to apply to LUMS would have benefited from this discussion. And if there's any confusion, if there's anything that you would want to discuss, please make sure you're writing to us at admissions@lums.edu.pk. We look forward to evaluating your application. Take care. Allah Hafiz.